Hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Tom Rolley for systemio.dev. Well, we've had a tragic event happen yesterday. I was driving and I received a phone call from my wife and she said, "We've run over Cozzy. We've run over the dog." And my first instinct was, is she alive? Is she dead? They said, she's alive. Ran over the back leg. And this is a pretty big event, you know, like our dog is about 9 months old. Her name's Cozzy and she's been awesome. She's a cattle dog, blue heeler. And she has been addicted to hunting wheels. Now, I don't know why this is. Like, they're meant to be hunting cows. We live on 2 acres and we have some cows in the next door neighbor's farm, but outside of that, there are not many cows. We don't have any cows in our property, but for some reason, she's been obsessed with tires. So she'll go after the wheelie bins as I drag them up. She hangs on and chews on the wheels of those. We're trying to learn how to get rid of this behavior, but apparently it's a deeply inbuilt behavior. It's certainly not unique to her, that most of the Kelpies and the cattle dogs, blue heelers, actually have this behavior. So in that, she's chasing after our car yesterday, and my wife goes over her back leg, and suddenly we've got this injured dog. She took it to the vet. They said, look, it's gone through the growth plate. You're looking at $3,500 to $4,500 worth of operations to get this sorted out. This is not great. This is not really something that I wanted. She was quite sick yesterday. Like, she's just lying there. She hasn't been able to go to the toilet. She hasn't been able to urinate or go to the stool. And right now she is heading into surgery. So we made the decision. This was not an easy decision because I was like, look, the behavior is likely to continue. And then what happens if we deal with it again in 3, 4, 6 months down the track and she gets run over again? So that's one issue. But the sadness and the grief of my wife, like my wife, I think, felt really bad about this. And so I was like, look, how would you feel if in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, we don't operate and you're filled with regret? And I was like, look, just she was wondering, yes, no. She called a bunch. I was like, just get it done. Spend the money, invest the money. Our dog really is a very big part of our family, and to have her lame, to have her not grow, to have to maybe amputate that leg later, I was like, I don't want to deal with that. Look, the money can come back. The money can regrow. The money, it's not something that is as big a deal as the regret of not having fixed this leg. So hopefully it's going to be okay. We've still got 4, 6, 8 weeks of looking after this dog of the leg. Like, our dog has to be crated. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm like, whoa, okay, this isn't just a financial decision. But the lesson out of all of it to me was that what I don't know can hurt me. What I don't do can hurt me. Because, gee, it would have been a great idea to have pet insurance. And whether we didn't hear it or we didn't get told, I don't know. We just don't have pet insurance. And they said, well, if you had pet insurance, it would have been covering 80%. And I was like, oh man, that's like $3,000. That's quite a lot of money. What was more concerning to me was that this behavior was already there. Like, she's been hunting these wheels for months now, and I didn't recognize it. And that is really the mindset that I need to look at and go, hang on, why didn't I see that this behavior is putting her at risk and do something about it? That from a systems perspective, this behavior is ongoing and something needed to be done and I didn't take action and now I pay the price. That I could have paid the pet insurance, or I could have got an electric fence where they won't cross and won't hunt after these wheels. So either of those actions could have been taken and they were not, and now I have this vet bill, $3,500 to $4,500, and I have 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks of looking after a sick dog, as well as the emotional difficulty of my wife having run over our dog. So this all could have been seen. There were clear signs. My son Hamish was like, be careful. She chases the cars. Be careful. Don't run over the dog. And I missed it. Not only the behavior, the warnings, it was all there. And when I see it from a systems perspective, it's like, hang on, this is obvious, but I missed it. So there's one thing in having to deal with all of this. There's the second thing in recognizing when this similar thing happens again, where there's a recurrent behavior, and actually taking the action to get that sorted out. This means thinking from a systems perspective, and it is easy to neglect this. This is not how we are built naturally, it seems, as humans, to go, oh, hang on, there's a recurrent warning sign going off here. I should do something about it. The easy thing to do is just put it off. But one day, which was yesterday for me, something happens and suddenly I'm like, oh, that was so obvious in retrospect. But having the capacity to go, no, I'm going to take some action here. I can see that there is risk and I'm going to look at it from a systems perspective and deal with it. This helps to have preparation and reps in terms of thinking systematically and thinking, hey, what is the downside risk if I do not manage this? All right, if this is a conversation that you can recognize that you need to handle, that you're like, hang on, I've got something like this in my life, whether it is in your business life or whether it's in your personal life, that this is a way of thinking. And if this is something that is valuable to you, then head over to systemio.dev. There's a training there around systems thinking that I want you to go through. And at the end of that is an opportunity for a consultation together to look at what's going on in your business and how you can take strategic action to ensure that an event like this doesn't happen. Take the lesson from me. If there is warning signs in your life that there is a problem, then don't wait for it to be the $4,500 vet bill. It's far cheaper to either put in the electric fence or get the pet insurance or both, and recognize that this is a risk. Managing risk is far better than dealing with the consequences. All right, thanks so much for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue to explore the usefulness of a systems mindset in living a great life. I'll see you then.